Hello everyone, this is Shooter Fantasy, or also known as Sebastian Law, and today we're going to be working on enemy AI design. So yesterday I was working on a drone. We went into Google SketchUp, designed a drone, also did some visual work, but today we're going to be taking that drone thing I worked on yesterday, and we're going to be giving it the brains to fight against the player. So we're going to roll the intro and get right into it. Hello, White Snow. Whoops, that's not what I want to open. Okay. Do I not have... Oh, I don't have Unity open. Must have crashed. Oh no, never mind. I restarted my computer. That's why Unity's not even open. That would make sense. Hello, Spike. Just waiting for Unity to start up. Thanks for the like. Okay, Unity's taking forever, so I'm just gonna bring my code window up, so there's at least something to look at. I'm gonna open up SketchUp as well, because we're gonna need that later. Okay, here's Unity. So we're gonna go into my dev map, which is basically a map that doesn't really have any important design to it. Literally everything I'm working on need to quickly test, I dump into one map. That way I can just test the thing by itself. Okay, I'm waiting for Unity again. And there's a few experimental things in this room that I've got going on. One such thing is I was playing around with world portals, where if you've ever played the game Portal, if you go through a portal, you seamlessly can walk through it, walk back and forth through it. It's just a seamless experience. I've got something similar that I've been playing around with. I haven't put it in any other maps yet, though. I've only been testing it in this one demo area. But we're also going to be testing out the new drone enemy I'm working on. We're going to be testing that out in this area, just so we can get an idea of how it's going to operate. And then once we know how it works, we can then design maps around how the enemy behaves. But yeah, here's the world portals as I was talking about. This one like links all the way over there. I don't see any lighting here. I seem to have a weird bug where the lighting doesn't work unless I like go through a bunch of the things here. Okay, so we've got our lighting back. So we're going to drag our drone in. It's going to be different from yesterday. Kind of made some changes to the design. someone complained it wasn't, still might not be the final design of the drone. But here we go. So we've got our rotary blades. It's going to be shooting lasers from its front. And these lasers will be able to teleport the player. Or stun the player. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to telegraph those though. Because that's another important thing. If you want to design an enemy, it has to telegraph its attacks. The player has to be able to predict what the enemy is going to do next. So, like if you've ever fought a boss, so have some sort of action they do that tells you, okay, they're about to do a kick, or they're about to do whatever, and then you're able to react to that. So, it's gonna be fun. Because I've only just made the design for it. So before we get to it doing attacks, we just need it to be able to move around. So we're going to be adding pathfinding to it. Okay. RVO agent. It's been a while since I've had to... Rich AI. Okay, that's what we're using. Okay, so we've added a script here that will let us do pathfinding. And slow and not facing, new path rate, repeatedly search paths. We're going to leave that all at their defaults for now. So, it also needs a target. So, I'm just going to make a cube. So wherever we put this cube, the drone is going to go to. Okay. Okay, there's one too many cubes in this scene. Okay, so we've got the cube dragged in. We're going to save this scene. We're going to run the scene. And the drone should hopefully go to the cube. We're just waiting for Unity now. Hey drone, where are you going? Oh no. Drone! Where are you going? Uh-oh. It just keeps flying upwards. Object reference not set to instance of an object. Okay, well, what's going on? What's causing our SNL reference here? Okay, well, we're gonna take a look. It's possible I never baked a nav mesh. So we're gonna scan this and hope that that fixes it. And we're gonna save, generate cache, scan. And let's hope that this isn't broken this time around. Okay, it is broken because I see the drone flying upwards and not towards the cube. It's weird. Having to fix bugs is fun. Because the drone, what it's doing right now, is not... Okay, there's no reference happening though. Oh, there we go. I think. Yeah, I know. I wasn't expecting this much trouble just to be able to get the drone to go to a cube. Because usually you drop the script on and everything just works. So I'm going to try just not having it being told where to go at all. And we're going to see if the same issue happens. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Oh, let's see what it's complaining about. Or what it's complaining about. This is when game development isn't fun. When the thing that should be working isn't working. Just hope I can figure this out during the live stream. Okay. So we drag down a rich AI component. This should automatically connect to the pathfinding system that's already on the map. I'm just going to try this. Copy component. Paste component values. That seems to have changed how it's behaving. Okay. So now we're going to try giving it the cube again. There we go. Gravity. None. You don't need gravity. So anywhere I put this cube, the drone will travel. Okay, so that's... Oh, wait. There is one issue with this thing, though. It's driving backwards. So, that's... I have to go in and edit the mesh. That won't be too hard. Okay, that's not what I wanted doing. Why is this going all crooked? Okay, I don't want it rotating from that direction either, though. Okay, we've got it rotated, and now I can pop back into Unity. And I'm going to get rid of this thing I added, because I only needed it so that I could rotate it around. And we're good. So now we're just going to run the scene. And test it again. Wait, I totally forgot. It's using gravity again. It's a flying machine. We don't need it to be calculating gravity. Okay. So again, we're going to try out this cube. Now, we're going to give it a brain, because it just following a cube is probably the simplest thing we could do. So we're going to give it a brain that lets it react how we want it to. So I'm going to create a new script called drone controller. So we're going to put all the thinking that this thing's going to do into here. So we're going to need access to a few things. We're going to be we're going to need access to its drone turbulence thing. So this is kind of what gives it a floaty feel when it's idling. We're going to need access to its AI pathfinding. We're going to need access to... what else? Actually, that's everything we need access to. So right now we're just adding some null checks. And what this will let us do is make sure we actually have a reference to our pathfinding and our turbulence management. But for good measure, we're also going to add those references in code as well. So Okay, come on. Come on. What's going on? Okay, just let me drag that there. Okay. So there's a few things we'd want an enemy to be able to do. This enemy's going to have a search radius. And ideally it also has the ability to do some patrolling. So you'd have it patrol around, maybe in a predefined path. So you'd have a pre-done path that it just follows. Or you'd have it so it figures out its own path and just travels wherever the heck it wants. I might play around with both of them, but for now I might just do a go the route of having a path that is just pre-done. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, so we've got this here. So this will allow us to give the drone a list of locations to go through while it's patrolling. And then this will tell us which location that we are currently trying to travel to. Okay, so in our update function, we're going to do something quite simple. So if our patrol path length is greater than 0, so what that means is if we actually have a patrol path given to us, and I'll actually comment it here too. And then if it's greater than 0, we know we have a place to go. So we want to, of course, go to it. So we have our pathfinding that here. We're going to tell it, hey, we want to go, or has a target. We're going to set our target to our patrol, to one of the nodes that's in our patrol path. So with that bunch of code there, we can already be telling the drone where to go. But we also got to add some other checks into here, so what else? Okay, so if we're actually gonna have to be able to check whether or not we reached the destination we set. So if our position is close enough to the location we're telling ourselves to go, then let's start traveling to the next position in our patrol path. So transform that position is our position. Patrol path, or this block of code here, that's the location we're trying to go to. Gonna have to add some other stuff here. We're gonna run a mathematical function onto here, because it is possible to get a negative distance, I think. Or if it's not, then oh well. But this just makes sure that I know I'm dealing with a positive number at all times. And here we go. So all this, I'm just going to dumb this down and just say that the Sonic code we just wrote is to check if we have reached the location we have just told the drone to go to. And if we are, we're going to increment the current node. So if we have reached the location we just told ourselves to go to, we're going to go to the next location in the list of possible locations for us to go. And we're going to add another check that says if the current node is greater than okay, we're going to add another thing. We're going to add a boolean, which is a true or false value. So we're also going to do is, if we reach the end of our list of locations to go to, we're going to go back to all the locations we went to in reverse. So it's basically going to loop back. And what we'll get is a kind of a back and forth effect with all the locations we give the drone. So if go backwards, or actually if not go backwards, so if we're not going backwards, we're incrementing, else current node minus minus. And around that check, we're going to also say if we're not going backwards and the current node is greater than or equal to our patrol path's length. So basically what we're saying here is if we're not going backwards and and we've reached the and we've surpassed the amount of locations we actually have, then it's time to go backwards. And if we are going backwards and our current node is less than or equal to 0, then we probably want to go forwards. And just to double check that we don't actually get ourselves an index out of bounds error. Alright, you know what? We're gonna test this out, and if we get any errors, we'll correct them then. So now we're gonna go back into Unity here. And we'll have our patrol path and the current node. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bunch more cubes. We're going to just drag them around. Actually, I'm going to create a game object too called patrol path. And we're going to toss these cubes into here. We're just going to copy and paste cubes, drag them anywhere that we want. And it doesn't really matter how many we use, just that we have enough cubes for our drone. Okay, so now that we've got our cubes, we're going to go back to the drone. We're going to drag all these cubes over and give it a patrol path. Now, in reality, all these cubes we have that we're using to show where the drone is going to go, we're going to hide them later on. And in fact, just to make it obvious that these are going to be for just path. Oh, I don't want to delete the mesh. I want to get rid of the texture though. We're going to make them pink. And we're just going to drag them up here. Although, actually making them pink makes them confusing with the spawns. But anywho, we're going to see if our patrol functionality works now. And we already have a array index out of range exception, so we're going to check that out. Okay, we're going to try this again. Okay, we got another array index out of range exception. So we're going to attach to Unity and see exactly what's up. Although that might have just... Oh, wait. What? Yeah, the scene's just frozen now? Or has this just not hooked in yet? Oh, whoops, that's not... Wait, where'd visual... This is not the project I'm going to be working on. What happened to my other Visual Studio project? Here we go. So we're going to set a breakpoint. Okay, what's our current node? 5. Current length? 5. Okay, yeah, that's going to create an error. Okay. So... we're going to have to add another check here. So we're going to add a check there that says if our current node is less than the patrol path's length, and our current node is also greater than -1, then it's safe to assume we're within bounds of the array. So we're going to try this again. Hopefully that check fixes things. Index out of range exception. Okay. Why? Oh. Okay. This check has to go outside. Okay. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so seems to be traveling between points. So now I've got a patrol thing going on. Right now, though, the AI has no concept of going through, no concept of trying to not go through objects. If I move this around, you can actually move these around and it will adapt and follow our edited patrol path. And if we go ahead and get rid of the cube's rendering, it'll just look like it's flying around. Okay, so we've got that working. We're gonna add some other stuff now. So now we're going to be adding our idle functionality. So if it's not moving, it's going to kind of swerve around a bit, because it's going to have to act as if there's air affecting the way it moves. So we're going to set our last position, and it's equal to, so we're going to set our value up here called last pose. This will be tracking the position that we had last frame, and we're setting that to our current position. And what we can do is, before we get to that point, if our last position is equal to our current position, then chances are we're probably sitting in the exact same spot, and it's probably time for us to start doing an idle effect. So we're going to idle. Else, we're not going to do that. Actually, I might do vector3.distance, since that might be more accurate, because we're dealing with a data type where things aren't exactly precise. Unity uses floats, and basically what that is it's a number that has a decimal value. And so nothing is ever an exact number. You might have two values that end up being, for example, 5, but there'll be 5.000000001 or 00002 at the end of it, which will make them not equal anymore. Even though they're both 5, they have a decimal place that makes them not the exact same value. So instead, oh, I don't want to use alert, whoops. So instead, I'm going to use vector 3.distance with an absolute function over top of it to make sure we have a positive value. And we're going to say if it's less than 0.001, then we're close enough that it's probably time to idle. Okay, so we're going to try that. I just realized there's something wrong with this too. Be less than. Okay. We're gonna have to do some other stuff. We're gonna have a stopwatch. So we're gonna give the ability to have it so that we can tell the drone to wait a certain amount of time before it moves to the next point. So now we're adding a waiting timer. So if we reach a destination, we're going to set the waiting timer. And we're going to add another thing here that says, okay, well, is a waiting timer running? If it is running, then we're not going to do any sort of patrolling stuff. We're just going to wait around. Else, okay, so if it's not running, we do this stuff. Otherwise, if it is running, we're going to go to this block of code So we'll put a comment there. Are we waiting? And if we are actually waiting, then we're going to do another check. And we're going to say, okay, well, have we waited longer than we've been told to? If so, we're going to stop waiting. And this code we added here about current position, last position, we don't need to have that code there anymore. So we're going to have code here that stops our idle animation. And we're going to add another check here. That makes it so our idle behavior does play. And so we're going to go back into Unity. Last post does not exist in the current context. Where did I leave you behind? Okay, we're going to let Unity catch up with us. And we're going to go to our drone controller, and we're going to wait maybe 5 seconds between positions. Object reference not equal to yada yada yada. So what's going on here? Waiting timer. Okay, we did not initialize the waiting timer. Okay. So we're going to check out the drone. Okay. Okay, if we're waiting, we also want to do that. And we want to disable our agent. Otherwise, we're going to have our scripts fighting with each other. So now we're going to have to go line by line, figure out what's going on. Because right now we have scripts fighting with each other. We're not even getting to the... Okay. So we never hit these lines of code, but we should be. Okay, I just realized I screwed up. Okay, so we've got code where we put our code in a place we don't want it to be. Yeah. I had the luxury of knowing how to program in C# before jumping into Unity, so it kind of helped me a bit. But otherwise, you've got two things you gotta, or two learning curves you gotta go through, which is learning the language, and then plus you also have to learn the engine. Okay, we're still getting weird. Oh my gosh. Why is this not behaving like I want it to? Okay, so waiting timer. It's not running. You know what? For some reason, this isn't triggering, so if for whatever reason we're in here and our idle behavior is enabled, we're just going to disable it. And hopefully that fixes our issue. Because something's slipping through the cracks, so I guess we just patch up the crack. Okay, see how that works out. We're going to attach to Unity. You know, it's just kind of having a seizure there. Okay. We're going to change the precision requirement. Restart this. Oh boy. Well, I'm curious. Somehow we're not getting close enough for certain code to trigger. Okay, so the drone goes there. Okay. Okay. So whatever reason, the drone isn't traveling to exactly where the cubes are. So we're going to have to create some sort of offset in our calculation here. So let's see, how high off the ground do we have the drone? Okay, so we're always going to subtract our position, or our height, that we're going to be off the ground. From whatever vector we're comparing against. And hopefully that will make it so that even though we're above the cube, because we're a flying object, that's okay. We're going to compensate. And hopefully that works out. Okay, I got one too many. There. Okay, we're going to try this again. So just going to go to the first area. We're still getting issues. Okay, what's your number now? Distance is 3. You know what? Let's just make it so a distance of 3 is good enough. Okay, the value is greater than 3, so how about a distance that's less than 4? I wonder what makes it decide it should go under the into the floor. So I'm just going to change this up entirely. We're going to make it so these have no Y position. And we're going to see how that works out. Okay. So I'm going to do one more thing, just so we can know that everything's working as intended. We're going to add a log here that lets us know that when we started waiting, if we're currently waiting, and when we stopped waiting. Okay, and this audio listener thing is kind of drowning everything out. Okay, no more audio listeners. I want to be able to see the message I'm There are no audio. Okay. I guess we'll leave one of these turned on so that it does not complain. Oh, I did a stupid move. When we stop the waiting timer, we also got to reset the waiting timer. Otherwise, having the timer is useless. So now, our patrolling functionality should be working. I don't know why for that cube, why it all of a sudden decides, hey, let's go all the way down there. Regardless, so I'm going to add some code here that makes sure it's always a certain distance from the ground. So we're going to add a raycast. And let's see. And the direction we're going to send the raycast is downwards. So we're going to do a negative transform that up. And let's see. Yeah, we want our hit there. And do I need to specify distance? Yeah, it wants me to. So I'll do a distance of 1,000. Actually, is there... Okay, there is one where I don't have to specify a distance. Cool. And we're gonna set our a new position. Our position is going to be whatever our current X and Z positions are, but our Y position is going to be our raycast position is always going to be the point we hit on the ground plus 3. So we're going to see how that works out. We're going to make it so it has a much smoother transition. A little too fast. So I'm going to probably I'm going to grab myself something to eat really quick, so I also got to go washroom. So I'll just leave this with the drone. You guys can see this operating, moving around while I go to the washroom. Okay. So we're back. And what's happened here? Our drone is stuck in one location and not moving. Okay. So the patrol functionality works. We got that done. Now it needs a search radius. So we're gonna add another collider. We're gonna add a capsule collider. Now we're gonna turn it into a trigger. And I'm going to fit a fairly large area. And we're going to add some more code into here. There's a type or a data type, or no, there's an interface that I have in my game project, which for those of you who don't know what an interface is, it's basically a way for me to It's basically a way for me to make a contract that certain controllable players have to follow. So AI players have to follow this contract. Normal players have to follow this contract where you all share similar characteristics. So, because of that, I can make it so that this drone will react to objects in the game world with a specific set of characteristics that I've set already. So, on trigger enter, so I controlled object. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. I almost destroyed a whole bunch of code. Okay. So, we're going to double check that controlled object is actually a value, or has a value in it. And from there, we're going to my brain's kind of breaking right now. Give me a sec. Okay. So we're going to set a value saying whether or not we have a player that we've detected. If we have detected a player, give me a moment here. So if we have detected a player, then all this logic we have here, we're going to ignore. So if detected player is not equal to null, then we're not going to follow our patrol path anymore. Our target will now be the player. So we're going to jump back into Unity. Go into our prefabs, and I'm going to drag in I think I've got target. Okay, whatever, I'm just going to drag in a player. What about Delta AI? Programmed to function with pathfinding. Okay, let's do this. So we're going to put this okay. So now we're going to add a breakpoint here, and that way we'll be able to know if we've detected the player. Okay, detected it. Of course. Okay, we're going to try this again. Okay. So you've detected a player. And Unity's frozen. I screwed this up again. Okay. Keep accidentally putting my logic in an if statement. That's gonna, of course, cause what we want to. Putting stuff in an if statement in which it's gonna cause the things we want to have happen not happen. Okay, there's no way it hasn't detected it yet. Ah. Okay, good. So now it's following this AI player we've got. Okay, so oh, it's been 2 hours and 4 minutes already. Well, well, where's that coming from? Okay, I had a tab open. Well, you know what? I still hear myself. Okay. So, next step. You've got an enemy that patrols, and it's able to detect when there's another player. So now it needs to do stuff to the player. So if we detect a player where we want to do something to that player, potentially even shoot at the player. So gonna add another thing. And what else? So we're going to create a bullet, and we're going to shoot that bullet at the player. So we have a sphere in here. Okay, we gotta wait for Unity. We got a sphere here. And this is gonna mark where the bullets are gonna come from for the drone. So we're gonna place that there, we're gonna hide it. And we're gonna drag that to here. And now we can keep track of where the bullet should be coming from. I should look though. My body is rather sore today. Okay, this bot is just going crazy. Look at all those bullets. Okay, so need to grab a camera. I'm just going to show you what the AI is doing from the camera view, because the bullets are kind of hard to see from oops, I'm moving the wrong thing. Yeah, this AI is just going nuts. Those black streaks you're seeing are bullets being shot out. So this thing's like overpowered. So, we are going to now do some other tweaks just before we get into testing this actually in game. I got to bind this to the contract of being a controlled object. Oh hell. What just happened? Okay, I'm just gonna undo what I just did there. There we go. So, why is this using C#4? We're on C#2. No, don't. Okay, well, Visual Studio is confused on what .NET version we're using, so that sucks. This generated code is just breaking everything. Now we're waiting on Visual Studio to reload everything. Okay, Visual Studio is just taking ages now. Finally. Okay, it's still generating them in a way that's 100% incompatible with .NET. There we go. Okay. So I need to add the ability to stun the AI. Oh, wonderful. But yeah, we need to add the ability to immobilize the drone, the drone as well. If we're not stunned, we'll do all that stuff. If we are stunned, then kind of a stun timer. Okay. Let's test this out one more time. Okay, so now that we've got the AI done, we're going to go and run the game. Well, there is one more thing I gotta do. Notice the bullet color. It's never the same. as a player. Okay, now we're done. We're going to test this out and see if it works. And if it does, we're going to end the stream off there. And of course, I'll have to tweak the AI, but let's go.
Project NOR.
Servers down.
Experiment has begun. Capture the opponent's flag.
So here's something cool. Portals. Okay. Anywho. Oh shit, okay. Made it angry. Why am I not getting stunned by its bullets? Get away from me! Okay, I need to forget I even exist. Which I don't think I can do from here. Crap. Okay. Well. I'm gonna go in and set the drone to be blue. How do I deal with a different color space? This is an HSV, and I need RGB. Okay, we're going to try this again.
Project NOR. Experiment has begun. Capture the opponent's flag.
There it is. The wild drone. Come on. What? Okay, well, we'll try that again. I was just sitting there.
Project NOR.
Okay. Well.
Project NOR. Experiment has begun. Capture the opponent's flag.
I just noticed that the player's UI is not showing.
Project. Project NOR. Project NOR. Experiment has begun. Capture the opponent's flag.
Okay. Moment of truth. Who is afraid of a drone? Curious as to why these bullets aren't stunning my player. Okay. I don't understand why this is not working. I don't know. My brain's fried, and to be honest, it's shooting bullets. Who cares if they're doing anything to me or not for today? I'll probably fix it tomorrow or something. But with that all said, thank you guys for those of you who watched. And if you want to keep up with my live streams, feel free to subscribe. I also do shorter, actually edited videos as well, if you guys are interested in those as well. But with that all said, I'll see you guys next time.